Hey guys, it's Wile, and I figured before I go to bed, while shit is still fresh in my mind, I'd make a little regional report, because apparently I like doing that now, and I like showing off my shitty ass decks. So I figured do a regional report and then a quick deck profile, because I could, and why the fuck not, right? But yeah, just had regionals last weekend, well, this weekend, today, technically, but it'll be the next day when you guys see this video, so it'd be yesterday for you guys, but right now it's today. But yeah, I had regionals today. It was fun. And let's see, I went 5-3 cuz stupid fucking luck, and I'll explain in a minute. But let's see. I played Heroes cuz it was a choice between Heroes, Sam's, anti-meta, and then I could have ran Gravekeepers also. Well, anti-meta dash stun. It was like chaos stun like stuff, but I was like, Heroes was just my best matchup for most things, and I am actually glad that I ran Heroes as opposed to like Sam's or something, but I just have really shitty luck, because I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm terrible or like I make all sorts of misplays. I'm OCD about my CDs right now. I just see them and they distract me, but it's like, I mean, I make pretty decent plays and I make sure that my decks are consistent enough, but it's like I just have really bad luck. Like, for an example of my luck, it wasn't really this regional, because I would always draw semi-decent hands I could get out of if I ever drew like bad hands, but like an example of me having really bad luck is back last regionals. Fucking my starting hand was Grandmaster, I think it was like United, Musakani, Double-Edged Sword Technique, and then like MST. That was my fucking hand. I don't see how I'm supposed to play out of that easily without getting a good searcher, which I didn't. So, I mean, that's an example of a really bad hand that just will say, hey, fuck you, we don't want you to play this game, but I still play it, and I'm still pretty decent. I just suck too much to top, apparently, or I just have really bad luck. But I will get into, I guess, what I played against, because that's what you apparently do in these videos. But, round one, I played, I think it was like Eviltile or Evilsaur, whatever just the straight evil deck or whatever, you know. Really, it was just a matter of, I mean, I drew decently, and I played some of my shit right, and I was playing pretty well, but it's just that, you know, he was able to get the right things at the right time himself, and that played out more for him. So, I mean, it was fun, and it was fairly decent, but it just played out for him in the end, so lost round one. I was like, maybe my curse is just gone, because I've discovered that I kind of have a sort of curse. Like, up to round 4, I usually do good, and then after that is where it goes completely downhill, and I was like, maybe my luck is just going to randomly change, and I'll just win the next 7 matches. But, obviously not. But, then, I think, I'm trying to remember how many people we actually had there. I think we had about 250 or more people, so it was top 32 cut. Wait, what did I say, 250? Yeah. So it was a pretty decently sized regional. But anyways, yeah, I lost that, so that kind of sucked. And then I played Fabled, which, really, like, he just had a hard time pulling into shit, and when he did, it's just, I had my field set up at a point where he just couldn't do shit, and I just kept hitting him, and so Fabled was a really easy matchup. Plus, and I didn't even need to use, like, my macro or anything. I was just like, oh, I'll just fucking kill you with shit. So that's how that went. And then actually the next round I played another Fabled deck, so I was like, okay, we'll know exactly what this does. But, I mean, that match went well. It's just, you know, shit happened. And then, he did make a misplay, like, partway in, where it's, I think it was like I Dark Hold, and then he chained his formula to grab his Stardust to negate it, but he didn't bring back his Stardust later, which was like, okay, that's kind of weird. But, I mean, I wasn't going to tell him to bring back his Stardust because I would give him the advantage, but, you know, he made that little misplay there, and that kind of cost him a lot just because I would have had nothing to really take on Stardust that well, but I would have probably at least gotten out Game 3 because I got Game 1, and then Game 2 is when it happened. But, you know, for the most part, that wasn't a hard matchup to play against Fabled, so I wasn't really too scared if I had to go to Game 3, so pulled out of that one. And then I played, let's see, I think Yeah, it was Dark World next. So Dark World's, I mean, usually game 1 they can get a good edge on you when you're playing heroes, but I was just able to keep the initiative going and just hit him. And I don't even think I had to use macro, or I think like I did, but he got rid of them really quick. So I think that's kind of what happened in those situations, but I didn't struggle really against him. So I kind of got out of that pretty well, and there wasn't really a memorable thing in it, so it was just like, hey, I played Dark Worlds and I kicked his ass. Well, not really kicked his ass, but, you know, I did fine. So let's see, that was 3-1, and then the next round, I played Gravekeepers, which had me going for a little bit, just because, you know, Gravekeepers are annoying, they stall, they do shit, but I was just able to keep getting the right shit. Game 1, that is. Game 2, however, is a completely different story, where, let's see, like, what happened was I got rid of 2 of his Necro Valleys really quick, and then he was just kind of wary to play his 3rd one until I played another MST, which I did, and because I thought, okay, his back row would be more threatening at the time when I did it, but then it wasn't, so then he was able to get Necro out, and then we just kept trading off killing each other's monsters. So it got to a point where we only had like a couple monsters left in our deck. Like, I probably had that many cards in my deck left, and I had, I think, in the entire deck was Snowman Eater and Bubble Man left. So I had to kind of rely on those, and I think he pulled into a Recruiter eventually. But it's like, we were just, because neither of us were really summoning, and neither of us were able to abuse our back row, so we were just stuck most of the time, and eventually, just because of the Necro, because I had, like, a bunch of, Miracle Fusion, and I think I still had my Polys, so, my Super Polys, so it was just, like, waiting to do something, but eventually, I was actually able to deck him out, which was, like, wait, I decked him out? I thought I was supposed to draw more shit than him or whatever, but I was able to deck him out, and it was like, okay, that's the first time I've ever won by deck out, so it worked, and I moved on. And then next I played Plants, which was really interesting, like, just in the sense that I'm kind of pleased to see Plants back, and the fact that you can build them so easily now, but really just, like, in both games, I kind of had a good initiative going, but it's just, he had really good hands to abuse and get around, so it was just kind of like, oh, I got a little bit of ground, oh, wait, you just take it all back, you know, it's just, he just got good ground going with his hands, so that's just kind of how it goes, right? Right, okay. So, lost that one. Then the next one, because let's see, so that means I was 4-2. So, next one, I was playing Anti-Meta, and he was playing Burden of the whatever it's called, where it's like you get your shit lowered by your stars, and then, you know, Dyna, Thunder King, Doomcal, that shit. And that was actually, like, at first it was a little bit annoying just because I had to play around his burdens and make sure that I wouldn't be left in too terrible matchups, but I was able to play around his Doomcals and his Fossil Dinas well enough, because that's mainly what he was pulling into. I was able to play around all those well enough and score the game 1, and then game 2, he's only able to get 1 burden up, I think, and then I was just able to control my special summons well enough so that Dina couldn't hurt me too much, and then I just was able to poke him and go over all of his monsters that were too threatening, so that was that. It was pretty, quote-unquote, easy, so that makes me 5-2. And then the last one was Dark Worlds. Now, this one, it was annoying just because, like I said, I can pair up well against Dark Worlds, but game 1, I could have technically had it in the bag, but I was looking at just the field presence. I was thinking, okay, he had a couple back row, but I mean, like, later on I find out that it was completely, like, useless, wouldn't have stopped me. I had a Miracle, and then I had an Alias on the field, and then I had, like, some stuff in my grave to make a Shining or whatever, so I could have won the turn, but I was like, no, I'm going to save it, and because I was thinking, okay, he shouldn't have anything to bring out too much, so if he is able to bring out the Graphas somehow, I should be able to bounce back from that, but then he just fucking gets 3 Graphas out on the field the next turn, because he just gets some nice top decking, so that kind of sucked. And then game 2, I was really close to winning. I was going to pop his whole entire field with my Absolute Zero going to Shining, but then he pulls a last minute fucking Starlight Road, so it was just like, great fucking timing. Otherwise, you know, I played as well as I could in a sense, and I kind of locked myself in the beginning because I played Thunder King because I thought it would hurt him more, but it actually hurt me more because I couldn't get shit into my hand to play, so it was just like, great. So I kind of fucked myself over in a sense, but also at the same time, you know, just unlucky timing with certain cards being played and just being too wary in situations that I shouldn't have been, but it was just, you know, you get into those situations where you overthink it or you mispredict, you know, it's just, it happens, so whatever. So anyways, I guess I will show my shitty ass deck. So let's get down here, I guess, because that's how we do this. So 3 alias, duh, and then I'm running Bubble Beats, so 3 Bubblemen. I actually got my 3rd ulti Bubbleman today, but I need to get a new one to replace this one because this one's kind of shitty. But 3 Bubblemen because Bubble Beats. I do like Bubble Beats, so I think that, I mean, people probably say run Hero Stun or just not Bubble Beats, but I think Bubble Beats works really well. Gets you good starting positions and good just, well, not really starting positions, but you're just able to get out shit quicker and easier. You got more heroes to abuse with Miracle, and I just like running Bubbleman a bit better, and it just gives you more options in a sense. But then Stratos, obviously. And then this was a tech I was trying out just because I want to see how it actually play. Elemental Hero Wildheart, just because I wanted to have another hero, but and then I was thinking about also, like, I had originally the Fire Gemini thing, the Fire Warrior Gemini thing, I forget what it's called, but that's what I originally had here, but I was either going to do that or Photon Thrasher, but then I decided this last, like, little bit ago, because I was like, this could be interesting, because I know there's going to be a lot of trap abuse, so I figured, let's try it out, let's see how it goes. And, I mean, it served me okay in a couple times, but more often than not, I would either side it out, or it just wouldn't get played, and it would just get tossed to the grave, so I could just go for miracles. But, I mean, it's an okay thing, but it's just the fact that it's only a 15 really limits it. Like, if it was 19 or 18, I think this card would be just way too good, but I mean, if you can find a way to boost Wildheart up, then by all means use it, but on its own, it's not the best ever. I probably shouldn't have run it, but it was just, I wanted to try it and see how it would go, and I figured, worst case scenario, I'll just side it out when I don't need it, and then I can just, like, throw in my Thunder Kings or my Doom Cows or whatever, or even Snowman Eater. So it's just like, if I need it, I need it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, you know? It's like, it was either that or Photon Thrasher. I didn't have the Noble Knight dudes that just came out, so it was like, you know, let's just fucking try it. I mean, it worked in a couple situations, like I said, but in the long run, it's not the best choice ever, but it's something to try out if you want. And then 3 Miracles, duh. 3 Sparks, I might actually change this to 2, just because I haven't seeing people float around and be like, hey, 2 is a good number, and I'm starting to see kind of why, but it's still good just in case, maybe to, like, just side deck one of them, but I still would at least like 2, and then 3 is good, but sometimes you get it a bit too much, and in situations you don't need it when you don't have a fucking alias, but it's still a great card to have. You need it in Heroes if you're going to run alias, which, if you don't run alias in Heroes, whatever. But 2 E-Calls, obviously. I main deck 2 Super Polys. I know people will probably be like, no, you either side it or you only run 1, but I like the option of having 2. It just, I don't know, it's weird, but it just works out in a sense, because having the opportunity to fuck them over twice is just so much nicer than just once. I mean, the thing is, then, yeah, you gotta sack 2 cards, but, I like having that option there, and it's, you know, you can get it fairly easily, so it just works out better in the long run. Dualities, 2, don't need to say anything about that. Then 2 MSTs. I've been hearing a lot of people, like, for both Sams and Heroes saying, hey, don't main deck these, you have better options than these, but if I didn't have these MSTs in my deck at any time, I probably would have been in a lot worse situations. So you fucking need MSTs in Heroes. You at least need 2, I think, personally. Like, I'd almost want to run 3, but I think that might almost be too much, but 2 is, like, perfect and saves you way too much. But then Essentials, Reinforcements, Reborn, Heavy, Dark Hole. Don't run Book, because really no room, I'd rather not. But, you know, that's spells. Oh yeah, I have 8 monsters, and then 18 spells, and I have 15 traps, so it's a 41 card deck, and it's 41, so whatever. So traps. Bottomless, standard. For the meta, it's good to have them in instead of side decked. Like, I side them in my Sams, but I might start to main them just because it's really becoming more and more useful. So, bottomless is a good thing to have. 2 Dark Bribe. It's like, I like it because it'll help you get over some certain things that will threaten you and will annoy you, but at the same time, sometimes they're just dead and you just wish you had, like, something else instead, like a compulse or something. So it's like, I mean, these are good things to have just in case, but if you really need room for something else, it's not good. But if you have the space, it's good to run Dark Bribes. Sure, you give them a +1, but you can stop their huge plays from their spell and traps, so it can potentially just turn the game, you know? But, and then 2 D-Prisons, you need them in this format. It's like the same thing with Bottomless, but D-Prison, it works a lot better than Bottomless, you know? It's just, you fucking need it. If you don't, it's like, you're kind of fucking yourself over in a sense, just to not run D-Prison. 2 Hero Blast, standard. 2 is a perfect number. Didn't need to say anything about that. Fucking warning. Torrentials. They're torrentials. That's all you gotta say about them. I shouldn't have to explain them anymore. 2 torrentials is great. And then I do 1 Mirror Force, 1 Solemn, and 1 Starlight. Honestly, I never use Starlights. I don't know. It might just be me and my bad timing or just my inability to really get into it properly, but I never used this. So I was thinking about actually like making this just a second Mirror Force or just taking it out so I have 40 cards, but I don't know. Mirror Force, obviously a great card, and like I said, I might want to bring it up to 2 just because I think that would help me a lot, but you know, we'll see. But that's my main deck. Side deck, 2 Doom Cows. I figured just that because of how the format is looking, I figured Doom Cows would actually be pretty useful. I did side them in, but I never actually used them, so it was just like, in certain situations they might be useful, like against the rabbits or fucking probably windups they'd help too, but I don't know, Doom Cows seem nice on paper, but it's just I never got a chance to utilize them, you know? So that's kind of how that goes. Snowman, standard, you gotta have them. If you don't, it's kind of dumb, and obviously it helped me out a lot. And they're snowmen. Thunder King. Yeah, you just gotta make sure you don't play it stupidly like I did that one game, but otherwise, they're really nice to have. They stop shit, and they're just all around nice dudes, so you gotta have Thunder Kings when you play a deck in general, at least side them, so Thunder Kings are always good things to have, so always remember them. 2 Lance, I thought it would help out a lot just to be able to do it. I never really used them, but it was still a good option to have in case I did need them. It's just I couldn't really draw into them was a problem if I did side them in, and just making the space too, but they're a good side deck option. My last Super Poly, really I'm probably just going to take this out and figure out something else to side in, but it really only need 2 Super Polys. Like, it's the third one was just excessive. I had the space, so I thought might as well try it, you know, but I never used it once, and 2 was just the perfect number to have, so I'm probably just going to take that out for something else. And then 2 System Downs. I was originally running Cyber Dragons, but then Vex was all like, System Down is cool, so I was like, hey Vex, are you really adamant about System Down? And I saw a lot of people having System Down in their side decks just at Regionals, so I was like, yeah, System Down is a good choice. Didn't actually, like I said, play any thing that required System Down, but probably would have been useful. Compulse, like I was kind of saying about the bribes, I'm going to try and work these into my main deck, because I sided these in a lot, and they proved to be useful a lot, so I think I'd probably want to make space for them, because they really do come in handy, so there's no reason not to have them. You know, try and main deck them if you can, just in any deck you play, but if you can't, at least side them, because they're really important. And then macro for mainly just the Dark Worlds. They work against other shit, but I'm too tired to remember exactly what, but macro, I don't run Shadow Mirrors just because I feel like macro is enough, and I want to make space so that I'd be able to have other options, and I felt like macro would run well enough. It kind of did. It's just that, like, I don't know, some situations they just had the counter to it, and, you know, that happens, or sometimes I just didn't draw it, but macros just, I've always liked macro ever since I got back into the game and just started playing Sams, and then they kind of carried over to Heroes because they work. So, yeah, that's my side deck. Extra deck. Shining. Yup. Play 2 Absolute Zeros since it's Bubble Beat. I figured, hey, 2 would work. But most of the time I only find myself playing one of them. So I might actually change this so that I play only one, just so I have more space for other shit that I'm thinking about. But Escradao, I don't even fucking know how it's properly pronounced. Obviously a huge thing you need to have. Almost am thinking about running 2, but I generally didn't need to, so it was just like 1 was perfect, and, you know, kind of the same thing with the fucking Absolute Zero, so I'm probably going to change the Absolute Zero, and I don't know, I'll make it probably like an Exceed or something, but yeah, this got brought out a lot and was really good to have. So yeah, Gaia, didn't bring it out, but you still need it because it also helps against like gears and shit, so it's a good super poly thing. And yeah, Great Tornado, didn't use it because I mainly just focused on well, most of the time, you know, you either bring out Esquiardo from the fucking Super Poly, or you'd want to go into Shining or Absolute Zero. Nova Master, I think I went into once, but I didn't really use it, but it was just like, you know, it's there. I mean, most of the time you either make Exceeds or you make Shining, and then Absolute Zero if you need to, and then Esquiardo just for Super Poly shit. So, I mean, the other heroes don't really see as much play, but they're still, you still want to keep them just so that you have them and, you know, all that shit. Stardust for the Starlight Road. Like I said, didn't bring it out. Might take it out so I can have more Exceed space or even more hero space. I don't know yet. 2 Blade Armor. I don't know. On DN, I usually am able to get into both, but there are only a couple instances I got into both, but I still would recommend running 2. It's still a good thing to have, so you need to try and make space for 2 if you can, because you can easily get out 2. You just got to play right, and then 2 works, so I'm not going to change it from anything else. Excalibur, yeah, it's Excalibur, 4,000 for a turn, and it hits hard. Didn't actually go into this at all, just because it's either more beneficial to go into Blade Armor or Utopia, so, you know, that's that, but it's still a good option to have. Maystroke, pretty standard, and then Utopia standard, so, I don't know, I'm thinking probably, like, I'm missing the Photon Butterfly thingy, so I'm going to try and make space for that, and I might make space for Chaos Utopia, but haven't really decided yet. But, yeah, I guess that's my 23-minute video, because I talk way too much about nothing. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm probably going to have a binder video up, like, soon after this, because since new formats, a lot of shit is, like, getting better again, but also is getting cheaper, so I want to try and, like, get my hands on shit if I can, so I guess watch out for that. But, hope you guys enjoyed. If you got any not bitchy-ass critiques for the deck, you can post them, and I'll consider them. Otherwise, you know, keep my feelings in mind about how I like to run shit if you have a suggestion. But, yeah, that'll be it for this. Binder video up later. Hope you guys enjoyed, etc. Blah. Comment, sub, and later, guys.